Welcome to Beyond the Stockroom, where we will be exploring the vast career opportunities that exist beyond the stockroom. What happens when a product is out of stock? That's where we come in. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Beyond the Stockroom. We are here with a very special guest today, and we are also at market. So you might see a lot of people walking behind us. There's a big wave coming in right now. After this wave passes, I'm going to have Taylor introduce herself. So, yay, welcome to market, everybody. Taylor, go ahead.
Hey, I'm Taylor Brunson, and I am the Softies Sales Manager. So I actually got into the gift industry by first starting as a buyer. I graduated from VCU as a fashion merchandising major, and I always knew I wanted to be a buyer. Picking out clothes for a living sounded kind of like right up my alley. So I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and that was purely because it was the first place that would give me a job. So let's be clear. I would have taken anything. I would have moved truly anywhere and making like no money, but it was my dream and I'm happy I did it. But so after 3 years, I kind of wanted to figure out what the other side of the sale looked like. And I found a job opening at Bella Tuno, which is the cutest baby brand ever. If you're not familiar, check them out. And I worked there for like 4 years and just found myself in the gift industry.
Awesome.
What exactly did you do at Bellatino?
So I'm glad you asked. When I was looking for a new role, like after being a buyer, I wanted again to be in the sales position, but the ad listed for Bellatuna was sales and relationship manager, and I was like, relationship manager? What the heck is that? I love
What is a
relationships.
relationship manager?
Yeah. Right. I was like, is that like friendship management? Like, I'm very interested. So truly, it was like Bellatuna, I hadn't heard of it before, but that title got me into it. And then like after getting, a little bit deeper into the roles and responsibilities, it was about managing sales reps, which is all about the relationship. And I was sold. So that's basically
That is awesome. And it's interesting. Fashion merchandising is what we've commonly heard as like the gateway drug, if you will, to getting here. I don't know why. I don't know the relation.
Like the collegiate world.
Yes.
Yeah.
For some reason, the collegiate world, it's like the only people that advertise this as a market, even or as a business, is fashion merchandising.
Exactly.
And I don't know why.
I know. I agree. I think because market is a big apparel, like you also have apparel markets. And so when you're in the fashion merchandising, a lot of people do internships as like temps at markets. And then you realize that there's other buildings that have other things than just apparel.
I was talking to somebody yesterday that actually said the same thing. They were like, I've never even been over to building 2.
Right.
And then I went over today and wow, that's a whole other world.
Whole other world. It is magic.
So for those of you watching.
Yeah, for context, building 2, we are in building 2 right now. We're actually in a very off corridor, but we are in building 2, and building 2 is primarily gift, whereas the person Delaney was referring to was either probably a home buyer, which is primarily building 1, designer building 1, heavy furniture, art, all that stuff. Building 3, temps and other stuff, apparel over
And
on
apparel,
there. Yeah, baby apparel, all that kind of stuff. When you moved, Charlotte, you said you started in retail. Was it just a retail store that you frequented, or what made you want to work at the retail store?
That's a great question. I worked at Versona. It's a 64-door chain south of the Mason-Dixon. And it had never crossed my mind, never heard of it before. But again, they were silly enough to give me a role right out of college. And then I became obviously a loyal shopper because they were good to me. So, but it's women's apparel and jewelry. And actually it's really cute. So definitely go check them out. And it's affordable, which we love.
We love that.
Plug for Versona.
Yeah, quick plug for Versona.
What made you work independent retail initially, like versus any other retail job, I guess?
No, that's a great question. So in college, I did work at a boutique, which also opened me up. Again, it was a apparel boutique, so it didn't have any gift. It was just true apparel. And that is where I actually learned about market because my sweet buyer took me to America's Mart, actually. And didn't even know building 2 existed. I had only been to building 3 at that point and did, just a quick market buy. And that was awesome. And so working in retail, like in the independent, you have such great relationships with your customers that come in, and you again have the great relationships with sales managers. And so it's just such a fun relationship. Our reps were my favorite people. It's like the best little world in the world.
The best little world in the world. When you then made the switch to Bellatuno, was that a brand that you sold at Persona, or was it in Charlotte where you moved?
That's so
How did you
funny.
make that jump?
Yeah.
Or was it just luck?
So it was in a local news letter that it's like where I would find where to hang out on the weekends, but they also had a job board. And so I saw the listing posted. So Persona didn't carry it, although they did have gift in the store. That was gradually building. So when I saw the job listing, got the role, loved it. We ended up selling into Persona. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Oh wow. And you sold back to the store you worked at.
Yeah.
How about that?
It took a bit because they'd never had carried babies. So it's a couple years, but they finally took it on for a little bit.
It's a different category. You got to kind of slowly.
We all know how that goes, trying to sell a new category into a store. So
it can be challenging.
Yeah. You got to be persistent.
Okay, so once you were at Bellatuno, you started as a relationship manager, right? How did you get from that? Did that role just progress naturally? Was it something that they saw the growth in you or the opportunity in you and said, hey, she's really great, let's make her a sales manager, or let's go from there?
No, that's a great question. So it did start as the role is to support our external sales force, which we had national representation. It was about, I think, right when I was there for the most average 90 reps, I would say. We had US and Canada. And so they kind of just, threw me in, and it was very clear that it was, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, sorry. And luckily it did. Bellatuno is still the best team I've ever worked with. It's all women and they're amazing. And I actually just was in a group chat with them last night. So
keep in touch with everybody.
Yeah,
relationships.
Definitely. Yes, relationships. And that was going to be the next point, is that with that, of course, managing and supporting sales reps, you're constantly in communication. And so when you're constantly in communication with someone, you're talking about way more than work. So you get to know them on a personal level, and you have deeper conversations that open a lot of doors. And that extends well into market. So when you're typically I have a nice relationship with a sales rep, which might introduce me to a new brand, and then I meet the person at a brand, and then that might introduce me to a new rep group. And that's how doors start opening. You start meeting new people, and new relationships form there, where you find out new opportunities and new roles. So it's kind of a chain reaction.
Yep, absolutely.
At Bellatuno, we're talking a lot about small businesses in this industry too, and so I know that's something that might be different for people coming in would be the structure necessarily around their roles. So when you were at Bellatuno and was it a very structured role at the beginning, or were you finding yourself having to do a lot of work to make it your own type of?
Such a good question. That's the biggest.
Yes, yeah. You take on a lot of hats.
That in Bellatuno, that was probably the most streamlined. My role was my role. Okay. It was great though, because again, the relationship piece, always talking to reps, always talking to retailers, got a ton of product feedback. So they were very open about design and product development conversations being introduced into those meetings was really cool. Did I wear that hat? No, but I got to be involved in those meetings and feel like I played a part, which I think is really nice. Since then though, I've worked at Alley-Oop, which is the coolest makeup company. If you do not know Alley-Oop, it's all about multitasking, and so you can get your makeup routine done in 5 minutes or less. Such a cool brand. So definitely check it out. Archipelago, which is iconic in the industry. It's legacy fragrances, amazing. They have personal care, home fragrance, candles, diffusers, etc. And then now I'm at Softies. So at these different companies, I feel like I've definitely worn more hats. So doing marketing, of course, sales, inventory management.
You learn a lot of things about the things you didn't think you were ever going to learn.
100%. I know a little bit about Amazon now. Not almost nothing, but a little bit. You just find yourself being willing to jump in and try to help where you can. Yeah. I know more about fulfillment than I ever thought I would, and logistics around distribution. And I actually really enjoy that. That is such a nice thing about working for a small company, is that if you have an interest in another role other than the one that you're in, they are so open to letting you help and find out, 100%. Which is cool.
Yeah, I think they're more open to that's a great idea, or I'm glad you're thinking about that. Can you roll with it? And you're oh, Sure.
Totally.
I can do
Where
that.
in corporate, it's kind of like the master of your craft, like stay there
Exactly.
a little bit.
Well, part of what inspired this podcast is like opening the idea that retail isn't a dead end job because there's
Totally.
this entire side behind it.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Which you
This
don't
works
know
so
about.
well.
It's like almost the best kept secret, you know?
Right.
But we don't want it to
Letting
be a
the cat's
secret.
out of the bag now.
Yeah. Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, I don't. We talked about that mystique behind it on our first episode, and I think it's such a. I don't know. I'd love to get your insights because I feel like it's such a legacy thing, as we call it, right? Like people were always scared that like, oh, people are going to know about this, and then retail's going to die because nobody wants to buy retail. But the fact is, this isn't an alternative. People can't just come here and buy this instead. You still
Right.
have to have credentials to get in here. How do you think that has impacted what we're seeing with? I think it's primarily with sales reps and the
Totally.
gigantic generational differences between the few and the many.
Yeah, totally. So I think I actually, when I got the role at Versona as a buyer, that's always what I wanted to do. So that's what I went with. But I was looking at another job, and I want to say it was Gibb Carson. It was a gift sales rep. I was so excited because I did not know it was a thing. So if it was Gibb Carson, kudos to you for going to
Yeah.
colleges and trying to recruit, because a dream. Like you walk into this beautiful world of like novelty gifts and you're like, oh, I get to go into stores and like make dreams come true. Very, very cool. But I think we all know getting out into the real world, having to pay bills for the first time,
Yeah.
you're looking for something a little bit
Yeah.
more steady and stable.
Yeah.
What I found, and I couldn't name names of who's doing it, but a lot of these rep groups are being so amazing and giving like a little, like it might be
Yeah, like a draw or a
yes,
stipend
exactly,
Or, yeah.
totally, for the first 6 months or whatever, is help you get on your feet, learn
Yeah.
the lay of the land, and then once you're ready, like set you free and
Right.
be full commission
So
based.
you've gone
Yeah,
and proven your
totally.
Yeah, you're
And then
like, I
now
can
that
do
I'm
this.
like deep into it, sales reps that I know are making very
Yeah,
good
very
money.
good money.
Very
Yes,
good money. Yes.
Yes. And it
Very
goes without
impressive.
saying, you don't need a college degree to be a sales rep.
No,
You just really have to be personable.
I couldn't agree more. And
Like I always say, I'm not a good salesman. I'm not a salesman. I'm not in sales, never do. But like some people always say, a good salesman is one that just doesn't think they're a salesman because you're never pitching it. You're just
Yeah.
talking and you're just being
Absolutely.
personable with them. And then they want to buy from you.
yes, and that reminds me of something we were just talking about, was how is this role in this industry different from others? And I think that's it tenfold. I feel like I would never have said I was a salesman. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want anyone to feel like they can't come up to me because I'm just going to throw something down their
Right.
throat. And you don't have to be in this. It's like educating in a thoughtful, kind way. I'm just having a conversation. You like what you see? I'll tell you more about it.
I've got
If
some
you don't
cute
like it,
pajamas.
just keep on walking.
Do you
Yeah.
sell pajamas? Have
Absolutely.
you ever thought about
Right.
it?
Yeah. Honestly,
Well,
Softies is the easiest. I'm like, the name says it all. I have to do nothing. Sorry, Tim. That's my boss.
No.
Literally,
Plug it.
it's just the easiest thing in the world. But it's all about having conversations, where I think this role in other industries is very quota driven. Not that I don't have sales goals. Of course we do. But it's just a little bit more approachable and kind and happy.
Yeah.
We're selling things that make people happy, and it shows. Like,
Yes.
it's very clear.
Yes. We do sell, what is it? Feelings. We sell
Yeah.
We
emotions.
sell feelings.
We sell
Sentiment,
feelings.
Yep.
Yes.
Joy.
Totally. I love that.
Yes. And at the end of the day, although it is, it's a sales environment that we're in and all that, I think we all share the same sentiment. Like, yes, there can be problems that arise. There can be issues. There can be this. But at the end of the day, are we curing cancer here? Absolutely not. We're not.
Exactly. If you walk up on any sales floor and you feel like a slight sense of tension, someone's going to say, we're not curing cancer. It diffuses the situation. And we're all reminded, we're like, we have the best job ever. We're in the best industry ever.
We're all selling stuff that nobody truly needs.
Yeah.
We're just
But
selling
everyone
feelings.
wants.
Yeah, everyone wants it.
Everyone wants.
We're all consumers. We love to consume, and that's what
Totally.
we sell. So let's get back to Softies. So you're at Softies now, which is awesome. So talk about more of your like progression. So you started really your vendor journey in Bellatuno, and was it growth reasons that you chose to pursue the other opportunities like Archipelago,
Such a great question.
Alley-Oop, and then ultimately, are you in your home now? Do you love what you're doing?
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good question. I love that. So I was at Bellatuno a little over 4 years, and some of the best years of my life. Like I said, I was like working for my hero. Michelle Bulow is one of a kind and so generous and amazing. And it was a team of strong, super incredible women. But the thing about being personable and approachable about selling product is really knowing the product. And I wasn't a mom and didn't have baby cousins, and so I always lacked a little bit of relatability.
Yeah.
I don't think it ultimately hurt me too much, but I really wanted to have this like super confident approach about the product. I don't know. That was always just a little bit of a bridge. And I was approached with an opportunity that did give me a growth. So I went to Alley-Oop and I was the head of sales for wholesale. So that was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's quite the progression.
Right,
There. That's
exactly.
Awesome.
So those two things combined, and obviously you heard me talking about Alley-Oop already. I think it's just such a rad brand, and they were on this huge, they still are on this huge growth momentum. So I saw an opportunity and I took it, and it was great. I was only there for right at a year, and then I found out about an opportunity at Archipelago from an amazing human, Kate Duff, who now has her own consulting. She is, again, another plug. Claxon Collective can change your life. So look it up. She is amazing and was starting out to create Claxon Collective. And so she had left her role at Archipelago and needed to help fill it. I like probably cried at the thought of working at this iconic brand. And it was incredible, amazing. Was there a little over a year as well, and then found the opportunity at Softies. And if you remember how this started, clothes are my passion. I love clothing. Soft loungewear and apparel, like, sign me up.
Yeah.
The only thing that probably could get me away from Archipelago was something like Softies. Nice. And I have never been happier. I have the best job in the world.
You found your home. And
Absolutely.
I think you touched on it. You know, you liked Bellatuno, you liked what you sold, but it wasn't, you weren't relatable to the ideal buyer, right? Or the consumer, rather.
But oh man, do I love it.
It's great product.
It's so
I think I still have some Bellatuno stuff.
Nice.
I do. I certainly do. But I think it's so awesome because your passion is clothing. Like, you went to school for fashion merchandising.
Right, exactly.
And now you are on the selling side of fashion, but
absolutely
in loungewear and comfy stuff that you can now get behind and you're passionate about.
Totally.
And how does that?
I have a question real quick on the fashion merchandising part, because you do have a showroom here in Atlanta. So do you have a hand in merchandising the showroom at all, or?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked this, because we did a pretty cool upgrade this season. So yes, that is also something really cool about the role. I'm going to divert and then come back. You are put in this position to support your sales reps and be the sales manager and kind of be the, oh goodness. What is that word when you?
The liaison.
Liaison. Yeah. Kind of like a brand advocate, if you will. With that, it's like, what does that mean? What are the responsibilities? What is that? But part of that is like visually telling that story. Maybe not for everyone. There's probably merchandisers at some companies, but every company I've worked for, I've been in charge of doing the showrooms, and which is really fun. I never thought I wanted to be in interior design, but it's so nice that I get to like have that little piece of creativity in the role. It doesn't come without help, of course. I'm not an interior designer, so I do get help. But it is really fun to like take inspiration from like our retailers and kind of build something of our own and like really share Softie's story.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So now, having found that, like you said, you're not an interior designer, but every 6 months you get to do it for about a month out of the time. I feel like our roles are so dynamic in a sense that in the office you wear whatever, and you're probably more just consistently wearing that hat while maybe juggling or riding the line between a couple other things. But at market, how does that completely change? Because I feel like it's just completely different depending on who you are. And
totally. That is my favorite thing about the role, is every day is truly different, even at the office, but definitely at market, because you kind of still are supposed to be at the office and answering emails and like doing that, which is really hard. So I'm so sorry for all the people I owe an email to. But market is such an interesting thing. Like, this podcast today was on my schedule, and then later this evening I'll be attending the GSMA mixer. if you're a sales manager and you're not in GSMA, another plug.
Great organization.
But of course, great organization. But of course, we're here to sell, and like market is truly about like getting your product in the hands of retailers, existing and new, and teaching your, I guess that is other, and then teaching your sales reps to make sure that they know everything about the line, the newness that you brought in, and making sure they can communicate it when it's time for the road. Market is so many things other than just selling the product in store. You got to keep a lot of things in mind and make sure you're touching everything, but it is about cultivating the relationships that we were talking about too. Like making sure you're touching base with everyone and getting to see the people you love and connect with, and so great.
Never burning bridges.
Never burning bridges.
Always seeing people, even if you don't work directly with them, or you're not even in their space or whatever.
If you've moved showrooms, go say hi to the people that you used to work with, because guarantee you'll work together again. It always happens.
Most likely.
Right. You always come back.
It always comes full circle at some point in time.
Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think market can be very fun, and you always have to touch base with everybody, see everybody. That's kind of the heart of the role for I think a lot of us here, regardless if you're a sales manager, if you're a sales agency. It's just about touching base. So now let's go. Market's over. You're back at the office. What is your day like? And I know you said it's never the same, which is also, I think, awesome. People don't like monotony.
Nope.
So that's beautiful. But like, how does your day change on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, totally. So although every day is not the same and there's little fires everywhere always, the scheduling is kind of the same, right? We always have markets in January and then in the summer months. And in between, you're picking up business that you didn't capture. So right after markets, we do market misses. So anyone that we typically write with, if we miss them, get those lists out to the reps and contact them a few different ways: email, phone call, drop by, catalog, etc. That's the main focus. And then it gets really creative, and that's where like the ingenuity really comes into play, is getting new accounts on the road, doing new incentives and new rep spiffs to get, again, the creative ideas flowing. We did a Q4 competition this past season. That was really fun. And it was in every showroom we did the competition so that the reps knew who they were like up against, basically. And I have never had so much fun. I was getting calls every day about like, is Nancy still ahead in this? I've got 2 orders ready about to send. Da 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 da. And we got a lot of new accounts and wrote a lot of business. And those reps are the most competitive people I have ever met in my life.
I've never met a not competitive rep.
No, I mean, it was amazing. We had some really impressive increases year over year, which was really awesome. But like doing things like that, it's not that they don't want to always open new business, but sometimes an incentive helps. We also do, one of the ideas during, again, the in-between of market season were Softies bucks. I think it might be the best thing we've ever done. The idea came because we did our first fall pre-book. Pre-books are really common in apparel, but we are a gift apparel brand. So our seasonality is a little different, but we're trying to get ahead, and we were like, let's do a pre-book. But the problem was, we were like, we want you to pre-book these items, but we still want you to write your fall order at market, because you're at market, you see it all in person, you're going to write this nice big order. So we're like, what is a way that they'll write the pre-book and write the fall? So if you wrote a pre-book order, you got like 10% back in Softies bucks to spend on your fall order. Nice. And so now that's become a common thread. So the show special this season is, for every $1,000 spent, you get $200 back to put towards a reorder for a certain timeline. And then the caveat is you just spend double the bucks. So it's like a 50% off coupon.
Did you come up with that?
With the help of a lot of people. I called every showroom manager and I'm like, help me solve this problem. Jeff Harper, you were definitely a part of the solution. And then with Tim, we cultivated it into something that makes sense for the brand, and so that we don't go out of business.
Makes sense.
It's a pretty nice promotion.
Yeah, that's a great promotion to drum up that additional buy.
Yeah, and it's a reason for the season when the reps are on the road and they like think, you're like, I've talked to this customer a lot. Like, what's a good way to get back in the door? And not only for Softies, for their other brands. It's like, hey, you have Softies bucks, but I also wanted to really show you this new line we just picked up. Yep. So it's just a great reason to get back in front of them.
Agreed.
A reason to get your foot back in the door.
Yep.
And for those, we're using a lot of, like, I think, non-official industry terms, but for those of you that are curious and don't know these terms, like a pre-book is really just typically this market, right? January market. Retailers do a lot of their entire booking for the year here. So like even their Christmas product that they're going to buy, they do it all here. A lot of that is referred to as pre-book because you're not getting it like, next week. You're getting it way later.
Yeah.
But you're placing the order now.
Yeah, like everyone's buying Christmas right now.
Yeah.
We just had Christmas, but you're buying Christmas. Exactly.
Yeah. And getting your, I think you said foot in the door. I feel like an idiot saying
it's
this,
like
but
the urgency though about the show specials. Like
Totally.
people are here to get the specials that Taylor just mentioned. She's offering, and every single other brand in this entire building is offering show specials right now, and they end at the end of market.
Yep.
There are other markets that you can go to get these show specials, but generally, whatever market you're at, you
Tight
want to
timeline.
book so that you get those specials. Yeah.
yeah, and typically like if you miss market, sometimes there's promotions available on the road, but oftentimes they're not the same value
And that's
as
true
what's
for
offered at
us
market.
too. So you get the $200 back at the show, but if you ride on the road, it's $100. Like I said, you got to come see it in person. With a name like Softies, you have to feel it. So
Yeah,
makes sense
it's
to come
definitely
to
something you got to
show.
feel, which I
Right,
think is
obviously.
so
yeah.
awesome. I think that's like a key piece as to why I think we've all said this will never purely go virtual because there's always going to
Oh
be
my
something
gosh.
that you need to touch, feel, interact
Absolutely.
with,
And
see,
on that note,
see in person, all
yeah,
that stuff.
I feel like this might be the busiest market I've ever been at. So every time I feel like there's this like, oh, are we going to just buy online this season? Every brand I've talked to is the happiest they've been because it's just been so
Yeah, I've
busy.
heard that too.
Yeah.
And talking to my vendors.
And
so-
there's always a sourpuss.
I know there
so,
is. There
this is pretty impressive.
There is.
Always has to be the one person that just can't see the light. Yeah.
All right.
Touch gears a little bit, or switch gears, and we know your role at Softies. How big of a company is Softies? It sounds like it's maybe not super large. You get to interact with a lot of people. What other like career opportunities or roles are there within the Softies brand?
Yeah, totally. We're a small, mighty team. We just had a killer year. Best that for a brand that I've ever worked at, actually. I think, what is it? About 10 of us, I believe.
Nice.
But we are actually currently hiring. So at Softies, there's a few different departments. We have customer service, operations, which operations is such a broad term.
Yeah.
It's like Grace is our operations manager, and she handles everything. That woman can fix anything that's broken. It's amazing. But then we also have our director of operations who manages everything at the warehouse. He is the most efficient man. It is so impressive. So there's tons of like warehouse logistics and opportunities there. And then marketing, huge. Again, with a name like Softies, like it sells itself, but the amount of effort that goes into marketing, that's where Claxton Collective is helping us and doing an amazing job. Marketing's huge. And then of course, sales. And that's where there's, again, wealth of opportunity there. I am just strictly wholesale. Tim really leads every other piece of our sales. So that's .com. We have an Amazon business, key accounts. We do our little ABC flash sales. Don't know why I put the word little before that because obviously ABC's huge. But yeah, there's just so many opportunity and we are growing quite nicely. So we are looking for someone, and that will be more in the operational sales coordinator kind of role where we do need some help with like admin tasks that of course, everything you do has something admin related to it. If it's a vendor's spreadsheet update that you need to let the new key account know, all the ins and outs, the housekeeping items, or a market time upload, if you will. There's so pieces like that, processing orders, but also doing like helping me prospect leads for our reps, and I'm getting more in the sales role as well.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Posted up on our site.
Oh yes, yeah. I'll get you
we
that
haven't
job
even
description.
shown you that. Yeah, we do have a
Yes.
job board, and
That's huge.
not to plug that, but that
No, but that
ideally
really
your new
is-
role would be available on this.
Yeah, and there's
Um,
this is kind of a world where like once you're in it, you do not want to leave. So when you know of opportunities, there isn't really a home base for that. You go to LinkedIn, I think typically, but trying to weed in finding
it's
the opportunities in the
it's
gift
very
industry,
difficult.
almost impossible.
We, not to subvert from Softies thing, but I think like just on that note,
Yeah.
like none of us in this building would succeed as our own in this building. Like if it was
Yeah.
just one business in here,
Right.
it's not enough to draw the crowd in the
No,
business.
it's an ecosystem.
And I think the same could be said for how we talk about our industry, how we attract younger generations, new people that are coming out of high school and college, like how we attract them here. Because to your point, like I was on LinkedIn and within but you got to be friends with these people or you got to have
Yep.
them like advertised to you.
Right.
But
Exactly.
I saw like between or maybe it was just three rep groups, all with separate posts, all saying, I think one of them was like, I'm looking for these 3 roles. One of them was like this. And then, and it's like, is this our best? Because we don't have a good avenue for
We
it.
don't.
And I know like the market center tried kind of having a job thing, but
Yeah.
I think like we have to come together as a collective
Right.
and push everyone to like a single spot.
I love that.
And that's not to say you can't have your LinkedIn as like a
Of
separate
course.
piece. You might attract somebody you wouldn't hit
It's like
elsewhere.
sales. You do an omni approach.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Omni-channel approach to hiring or finding younger talent to come in. So it's a perfect segue back to Softies actually. So with the role that you're hiring, like you said, it was more on like the operations management side, like
Yep.
admin type duties.
Exactly.
So like somebody that was listening that say they're really intrigued by your role in sales, right? I think it's just important to understand you didn't start in sales.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That is.
And it's
like-
just about getting your foot in the door.
Oh my gosh. Yes. That is such a killer point. And it goes back to what we were saying about sales in this industry. Doesn't necessarily take a salesperson, or maybe you didn't know you were a salesperson, and then you get to a market and things are flying, and then you're like, oh, here
More
we
so,
go.
you just have to be a relationship person. You have to just be
Yeah.
enjoyable, talking to people and getting to know them, and wanting
Absolutely.
to like actually feel authentic and doing the getting to knowing also
Right.
as well. So
Totally.
Yeah, excellent. And if you're listening and you're like, wow, I really like pajamas or I like loungewear and I like comfortable
Yeah.
stuff and Taylor seems awesome and I would just like to work with her.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily like
Yeah.
management or admin type duties, but I'm capable of doing that, but I'd like to learn more. That could be a very serious opportunity for you because you just get your foot in the door.
Right. And speaking of getting your foot in the door, this reminded me of what we were talking about too. If you are interested in the gift industry, temp. Oh my gosh. Be a temp in a showroom, help write orders, learn about brands, learn about sales reps. It's the quickest way to get a full circle idea
yeah,
of the industry. And I actually, every time that I have switched into a new role at a new company, it never clicks for me until I get to market because
Oh,
you just see it happen so fast and you can really see the full picture.
makes sense.
Yeah. So being a temp at market is like kind of
Yeah.
like the
Right.
bingo.
Market is the culmination of all of our efforts, always
Exactly.
put together in
Totally.
one whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's true for like every piece of the company, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For every role, like even for market
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
right? It's like the Super Bowl of writing orders.
Making sure everything is functioning for
Exactly.
the 6 or 7 days of just pure sales and
Totally.
activity. And but like forget technology. That's everybody, right? That's
Absolutely.
your brain. You got to be on for and your days are not a punch clock. We don't come in to market at 9 and 5 o'clock hits and the building shuts down and everybody leaves.
Right.
And anybody that's been to market knows market doesn't close until the last buyer leaves. And that is,
And we like it that way.
we do like it
We're
that way.
also out on the town sometimes, so you gotta
Yes.
also be on even when you're out at dinner in the bars.
That's
Because you
right.
never know who you're gonna run into.
That's true.
Couldn't be more true.
You're enjoying your dinner, and then somebody comes up on you, and you're like, "Oh, hey,
Yeah.
I didn't see you today." Yeah, it's just always
Totally.
on. Yeah. So temping, I think that is so critical because there is such a need for it, especially during the winter markets where it's oftentimes busier. I know that a lot of rep agencies primarily that they always need temps for order writing and all that stuff. Does Softies ever need temps, or does Softies purely send you like sales and
Great
whoever else
question.
here?
Yeah. So this time at market, we have Tim, the owner, me, the sales manager, and Grace, our operations manager. But in typically January is the busy market season for a lot of people. June is our busiest because it's leading into Q4 where Softies like bigger, chunkier, cozier fabrics are and they're super giftable. So that's like our Super Bowl market. And we always need temps. So we do hire hard to find because kind of what we were talking about. There was just this job board that I could post and say like, hey, this is 1 week, and then like could lead into a very serious job opportunity. So it's this, I think, a really awesome thing on the table, but it's like hard to market for that and find.
It's the best way to get a sampling.
Yeah.
Like if you're not
Oh my
totally
gosh.
convinced or you think we sound crazy, but
Yeah.
it sounds interesting and you want to see
Right.
it, temp. There's no
Totally.
commitment. You're here for, not even necessarily the whole week, mostly the front end, 4 or 5 days.
What you just said is so smart. It's the best test run,
It is.
not only for the brand to
No, it's
find
true.
out, but for the person. Like, do you like this? Do
Yeah,
you like working with the people that you're hired under?
Yeah.
You're smart.
Yeah, like if you don't like this, then you won't like the regular.
Yeah, you won't
outside
like any of
this.
the rest.
Because this is
And then
all
you're
of
This
it.
is kind of the best.
Boring, run of the mill. Like,
Yes.
okay, I'm at my desk now.
Yes, exactly.
I wanna
That's
go back to
so
market.
true. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys. That's what I long for. It's like, yeah, we leave market. Summer, January ends. Okay,
Yeah.
take a breath.
Right.
Time to catch up on the thousands of emails and whatever else that's
And
been
start looking
neglected.
forward to June.
And then you start ramping up for
Yeah.
June. And we live for it. And then we're there. And then we're on.
Like summer market's over, and we all kind of are like, oh. But then like January's here before you know it because the holiday season is just like, ah. But yeah.
So true.
So would Softies be open to hiring temps? Is that like something that they would do
Yes.
if there was the need for it?
Yes. Yes, very much so.
Awesome. Yes, 1,000 times. So one thing I also wanted, like Delaney and I touched on this, because I think what's often difficult, especially in today's job market and AI and all that, is there's so many people that either want a career change or need a new opportunity, whatever the case. And I don't know if it's all job sites. I'm not going to name names. You know who you are. But it just seems like, and I can speak for myself as well, you just get put into this endless marathon of job hunting. You never get put in touch with the right people. You never even hear back. It's crazy. It drives people insane. And I think like you're a company of 10 people. I mean, that is just to give context. Like if you listening were like, that new role, when it's available, I'm going to go apply for it. You're looking at and listening to one of the 10 people in this
Right.
organization. You're not getting put into some AI filter that's then
Right.
looking at your resume and because you had a typo, it's kicking you to the curb.
Right.
And it's much more direct.
Totally.
And I think that can be said outside of Softies. Like most
Yeah,
of
I agree.
the businesses in these market centers or in our industry, I would say between like a lot of us even, our network could even know who the person is that makes that decision on hiring
Absolutely.
or who the resume needs to get to. It's much more personal.
No, absolutely. I can't think of a brand that I know that has an HR division going through with an AI thing. No, it's people, real people, looking through those resumes, and it's tireless and hard, but worth it because these are intimate teams and you have to make the right decisions.
I'm one of the people looking at the resumes for my company. So
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I know who does.
That's right.
It's not me,
Exactly.
but I know who does. And you can always get your in, and it's just about making yourself known and seen, and then
Totally.
getting your foot in the door. That's the theme of
Yeah.
today's episode, getting your foot in the door.
So to wrap things up, I guess like what would you say is your absolute favorite thing about working in this industry?
It has to be the people. Feels like an unoriginal answer, but the best humans I know, other than my sweet family, came from the gift industry. Truly, like the most kind-hearted, smart, passionate people, and I just adore them, which is why Market is the best because you get all of them in one place. It's like adult Disneyland. You have your rides. We're right next to an escalator. Food, booze, all the people in the
swirl
world.
up
Yeah.
to 18 floors.
Yes, it's total magic. It's like the best mall ever at 50% off and all the best people in the world. And I just couldn't love anything more.
A lot of us here are almost like one large family or just like one huge group of friends that we know every 6 months we're getting together to see. Like we didn't know each other.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, obviously, we're brother and sister. We didn't know each other.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't know each other prior to this. We got to know each other because technology, and you're a
Yep.
vendor and you're in one of our rep groups. Like, again,
Yep.
how it all comes together. And now we're like such good friends that, like, if we were on vacation and we were in your neck of the woods, like, it's friends where it'd be like, hey, let's meet up for like dinner one night or something.
No doubt. I've been telling you I'm coming to Colorado. So.
Okay, good.
Hey, let's get dinner in Colorado.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And just made me think of this. I have this fear that I forgot to book a hotel, but I'm like, it's not really a fear. I'm like, I would stay with quite literally anyone in this industry because we're so close. It's like this bond that is unbreakable. And I know a lot of these ladies get the 2 queen beds to put luggage on one, sleep in the other. So I know that I have a bed somewhere.
Yep.
There you go. Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the sweet time out of, what is it, Thursday? Thursday here at Market.
Yeah, day 4.
This was actually really nice. So
yeah,
thank
you
your
guys
time.
for having
And
me. My mom's
you
so
are
proud.
such a beam of light. I think
you're
such a well-respected, on the vendor side.
Thank you.
So
thanks, guys.
thank you.
This has been the best.
It was so fun.
Perfect way to start the day.
Taylor. Woohoo.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great market.
Curious about any of the opportunities discussed in this episode? Be sure to check out the industry job board at wholesaletalent.com. And thanks for listening to Beyond the Stockroom.